My day started. I'll be at work in a little while. I gotta eat the leftover pasta from yesterday. There it is. I'm letting it cool down a bit before I eat it. And of course, there's my Rocky cat. There he is. My Rocky. He's a good boy. Ah, yeah. I've been thinking, and I had a troll a little while ago on my comments that said some pretty nasty things that weren't true. But it's a funny thing. I have a former landlord who cut off our heat and our hot water, and he pulled something similar to this one time. Um, and he went silent when I confronted him because I figured out who he was. Based on things he said, I figured out who he was because he talked about his mother being a landlady and stuff, and it was really his mother that owned the building, but he was the superintendent, so he was responsible for it. Anyway, I went up against this guy in a big way, and I got some solid evidence against him that I could have used to hurt him, and I didn't use it, but I could have, and I let it be known that I could, and that I had it and I could, and that's how I got our heat and hot water turned on in the building. I had been a tenant there for 28 years. I have a recording of this guy, a 45-minute long recording, which was actually part of a 2-hour meeting in which he threatened me. He threw punches at me and stopped just short of my face. You couldn't see that in the audio recording, but he did do that. He said a lot of nasty things about a lot of people, lots of profanity, lots of roaring and threatening and everything else on his part. And that was just one piece of the evidence I had against him anyway that I could have used to really hurt him had I chosen to. So anyway, the bottom line is I have a feeling that might be the same individual who did this other trolling. I've suspected that all along. And after I went against him, he spread rumors in the building amongst the other tenants about sexual perversion on my part, which wasn't true. And also he said that I hadn't paid my rent in a long time, which also wasn't true. I had paid my rent for 28 years. I'd paid my rent on time every month. There was never any issue with collecting rent from me. But he made out like I hadn't paid my rent in a long time. So the bottom line is, anyway, I have a feeling that that's who did the trolling recently, although I'm not sure of it. I can't prove it, and I may be wrong. The internet is full of people like that. But one thing I will say about that fella that I rented from for 28 years, and I'll say it about a lot of other people I've encountered too, is what they do, people like that, is they back you into a corner and they force you to fight them. And then when you fight them, they resent you for it. And I can honestly say I'm not naturally a prick. I'm really not. I don't have any desire to be in conflict with people. I don't have any desire for drama or anything. I've had enough drama imposed on me over the course of a lifetime that I'm honestly just fed up with drama. But what's happened is I've gotten a bit of a reputation as a prick, because if you back me into a corner, I'll fight back. And the thing is, I'm really not naturally a prick. What I am is I'm a nice guy with prick capabilities. That's what I am. I'm, how would, like, if you have an electronic thing, they'll say it has capabilities, Like a car might be OnStar capable. If you subscribe to the service, then you'll get the service because the car's set up for the service, but you don't necessarily get the service if you don't want it or you don't pay for it. Well, that's kind of how I am with being a prick. I'm I'm capable of that, but that's not really who I am, and I wish I could be a nicer person than I've been at times. I regret that I've had to be that way, but I've had some genuine predators come after me over the years, and they've left me with no choice. And then, like I say, then they resent you, though. And that's something I could never figure out, because as somebody who is fairly fair-minded, I figure if I go looking for it and it comes, well, I went looking for it, so I got what I wanted, basically. And that's how I see it. And I mean, I don't go looking for it, but if I did, that's how I would see it. And that would be true of anything in life. If you go looking for something and you get what you're looking for and then you don't like it, well, that would be an indication that maybe you shouldn't have looked for that. And that's on you. But like I say, I can honestly say I get along well with people who treat me with just a modicum of decency and respect. And if you're not degrading me, if you're not trying to cut off basic services that I pay for and that I need to survive, like heat and hot water, which the landlord did. I did have electricity because that wasn't included in the rent, but the heat and the hot water were. That was part of the deal when I rented the place, and it was for everybody. And he cut off that to the entire building and was freezing the people out. And that wasn't fair. Anyway, in this climate especially, you got to consider where I am. I'm in eastern Ontario, Canada. We have, 6 months at least of the year where most days are sub-zero, below freezing temperatures. So in some cases we get down to minus 30, minus 40. It's not a lot of fun. And when you don't have any heat and you don't have any hot water, it's a bugger. And anyway, I did manage to get our heat and hot water restored. We had an 88-year-old woman in that building, and those conditions could easily have killed her. She was a really nice person, a decent person, and she didn't deserve that. She was a Holocaust survivor, that lady. And what he put her through, And I mentioned her to him during this meeting, and he responded to me by saying that she was nothing but a whining old cunt. Now, what kind of a man talks that way about an elderly woman? I mean, and this as well, he's depriving her of services that she's paying for as part of her rent. Services that are life-sustaining. She had a home care nurse coming in who couldn't give her a bath because you can't put an elderly person in a tub of freezing cold water in an unheated room, But that was supposed to be part of the lady's job. So, anyway, bottom line is, I don't regret going up against these people. I regret that I had to go up against them. I wish that I lived in a world where that never had to happen. I don't like being that kind of a person. But at the same time, like I said earlier, some people will back you into a corner and force you to fight them, and then they'll be hopping mad when you do, Anyway, luckily not everyone's like that. I would say maybe 20% of the people in the world are like that at best, and